Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Durrett's Take. Let's get started off today. There's a bunch of things that's been going on recently. A bunch of NBA news that happened over the weekend, to be more specific. So let's get started. So the NBA has laid out the time frame schedule for basically when they're going to restart the season, all the way leading up until next season. So as we know, they're going to start July 31st, and then the NBA lottery will be on August 25th. The NBA draft will be on October 15th. NBA free agency will start October 18th, and then new season starts December 1st. So let's go back to the NBA lottery one first. So the NBA lottery, in my opinion, it's kind of overrated. I mean, it's definitely important to find out who gets the number one pick and stuff like that. But I can just easily not watch the event and find my phone. Oh, look, the Cavs got the number one pick. That I didn't have to spend time watching that. So I'm fine with the NBA lottery going on during the same time as the NBA season, or by this time maybe the playoffs have started. So the NBA playoffs have started. So I mean, it might get some views, but if it doesn't, that doesn't matter. Because in my opinion, it's still not that important per se. And then the NBA draft will be October 15th, so right after the finals. The I'm this is the draft day is not ideal. Like it's not horrible, but it's not ideal. And it's not ideal for specifically the teams that advanced far in the playoffs. Because while they're I don't assume the team scouts and personnel stuff are going to be at the games in Orlando, so they have their time to go do their diligence and look at potential draft eligible players. But like the head coach specifically, maybe some assistant coaches, like are not really going to be able to review um, draftees like film much, and they're not going to be able to go see them much in person because if they're advancing far in the playoffs, then they're going to be in it for until basically October 12th if they're one of those two teams that make it to the finals. So that'll be a disadvantage for them. We're going to see for the really good teams that advance far in the playoffs, we're going to see if they have really good personnel or not, just because the head coach and some of the coaches and stuff like that won't be able to see as much as they normally would for a player they want to draft. So that'll be kind of interesting dynamic there to see if it's a key factor or not. And then NBA free agency starts October 18th. Now in my opinion, I feel like this should be flipped with the NBA draft because, for example, let's say that a team has the third overall pick, like kind of like in the way like the Lakers had the number four pick last year. They were able to trade for Anthony Davis. So like they trade the third pick to a team to get a really good player, like someone like maybe Anthony Davis caliber, so it's a fair trade for both the team that gets the third pick and for the team that gets that good player. But let's say the team drafts the player number three and they want to get this certain player, but that team's like, yeah, we don't like that player you drafted, so we're not going to trade with you. I mean, that's why I don't feel like free agency should be after the draft. It should be before the draft. So that way, the team that you trade for and they get like the third pick or the fourth pick or the two pick, wherever they can decide themselves who they want to draft. Because with this draft, there's not a lot of clear like number one, number two. There's not like any clear ones. It's kind of like all anyone can go. Well, I guess number one's there's a fake kind of favorite number one, but like from two to six, wherever it kind of goes anywhere up in the air. So it'd be interesting to see if that has any effect on trades and stuff like that. And then also potentially if agents say, oh, they drafted this player that's really good, I'm going to go join that player. So I guess that's one thing that can maybe be an advantage, but we'll see or not. And then the new season will start December 1st. Now this one I completely disagree with. I feel like Christmas was a perfect start date. That way you have plenty of time after free agency to have a mini camp. Now there's most likely not going to be any preseason games, maybe one or two, but most likely none. And as a fan, I'm completely fine with that because no one wants to watch the preseason. But as a coach and player, that's actually a disadvantage because as a coach, you need to figure out, okay, uh, is this player that I drafted good or not? Is this player I drafted good or not? What's the rotation going to be? What's our best fit? Now, if it's a team that mostly returns everyone, then you're going to be at a complete advantage here. Kind of like with the NFL and college football starting up because they didn't have a lot of time for a training camp per se. So whoever's team is going to be intact the most is going to definitely have more of an advantage. Will be interesting. But again, I feel like Christmas was perfect start time, get more time to train and stuff like that, and get players ready for next season. Christmas Day is a perfect day for an opening day. So that's my preference. I mean, December 1st is not horrible, again, not horrible, but again, I just wouldn't do that. So again, well, in conclusion, so while these dates are not the best or horrible, could work out. But again, I disagree with the decision on these dates. I wish they could have picked better dates. So now moving on. So for the 8 teams that didn't get invited to Orlando because they weren't going to be eligible for the playoffs, I mean, they're trying to figure out an advantage that they can now get because they feel like they're at a disadvantage, especially for the young players in their growth development since they're going to be going to Orlando. So here are a couple things that are being discussed. So they would get a combination of voluntary and mandatory workouts for 2 weeks in July. Feel free to do that. They could have organized team activities or otherwise OTAs for mid-September. They can do that. Teams want an opportunity for training camps to start 7 to 10 days earlier for the next season than for the teams that left for Orlando. So that one, I'm all fine for. Yeah, they can get an extra week to train and stuff like that compared to their teams. I'm fine with that. Now, here's the one thing that I'm not fine with. They said regional mini camps in August that include joint practices for a period days and approximately 3 televised games. Let me get this straight. You got the NBA regular season back and going on, and then potentially maybe the playoffs just starting. And you want to televised joint practices / scrimmages. You really think, besides even maybe the 8 teams, they're in their loyal fans, you really think anyone is going to watch that? I'm not going to watch that. I'm going to watch regular season / playoffs. I'm not going to watch scrimmages on. Like I know, like I understand in some way, like it's for those 8 teams to kind of get some local TV money and stuff like that because they're not going to be able to get it for the teams that participate in Orlando. So I understand kind of that regard, but just overall, it's like that's just kind of a dumb idea. It's just you don't need TV time. Like you didn't get to Orlando, you can have your joint practices if it's all healthy and safe and all that, because you got to keep that in mind as well. But assuming if the NBA teams are doing fine in Orlando, then you can have joint practices, in my opinion. But I'm assuming it's safe at all. I just feel like no one's gonna want to do that. That's not. I mean, I wouldn't want to watch it on TV. So, so that's something I wouldn't do. But the other 3 are totally fine if they come up with more ideas. I'm down to discuss what they're going to, but that's kind of the 4 things that they were talking about as of right now. Okay, so to continue on, so KD came out, and I guess both Kyrie came out and said that they officially announced they would not be returning for the playoffs this season. So that I'm happy for both of them that they say on that, but I want to talk more about KD specifically. So because I want to congratulate KD on making a smart decision. The fact that the net there's no home court advantage is the only reason to come back, because then seeding doesn't really matter as much per se because there's no home court advantage. But other than that, it's just like let's be honest, the Nets are not going to have a real shot at winning it all this year. KD said the main reason why he's not physically ready. Now he could be pretty much recovered from injury, but he's not in that physical shape to run up and down the court a lot and be physical like the playoffs are typically physical and enduring and stuff like that. Like he's not ready for that type of environment quite yet to play 35-minute plus games. Like he just needs more time to prepare for that. So I'm happy he's not rushing back. He learned his lesson from the finals last year, not coming back, rushing things back too early. So he's going to just take this and get more healthy, so that way KD Kyrie both can be ready for a special season for the Nets next year. In my opinion, he's making the right decision. And then last but not least, I want to talk about something that point guard Jamal Murray for the Denver Nuggets came out and said recently. So he said that the Joker has some abs now and that he's gotten stronger and they are ready to go win a championship. Another reason why they think they can win a championship is because they have beaten good teams this year and that they've showed consistency throughout the season. Their loss last year in the playoffs was their fault, not the Blazers' fault. Oh, Jamal, this is cute. You think because of these reasons you're now just gonna win the title? Those things help, but that you're not gonna win the title. Here's what helps you win a title: having a player like LeBron or Kawhi or KD. That's what's gonna help you win a title. And while the Joker's really talented, he's this all-star, and Jamal Murray's on the right stuff like that, and you have a good bench, like you don't have a superstar. you're most likely not going to win anything. Especially this year, you're not going to win anything with like LeBron in your conference, Kawhi in your conference, and the Rockets being wild cards and a couple other good teams as well. Like you're not going to win. Like, and plus you also have to face the Eastern Conference team like the Bucks, most likely, which you wouldn't win either. Like I don't get it. You're not going to win the championship this year. Wow, Joker has abs now. Whoopity doo. Even Joker had LeBron's body. You're still not going to win the championship. So again, I'm surprised that they. I mean, of course, it's right up for this player to say, "Yeah, we're going to win a championship," because as a player, you should think you're going to win the championship. So I'm not disregarding him in that regard. But as far as like reality goes, the Nuggets, best case scenario for them, they get to the second round of the playoffs, but they're not going to win the championship. They're just not. Now, and even in the future, I would say they have more of a chance, but it's still not highly likely per se because you got Steph and Clay now back and Draymond. You're gonna have Luka and KP for the next 10 years, and then the Jazz are really a team as well, so they're going to be on the rise. And then a couple other teams will always be in the mix. So it's not going to be. So it might be easier in the future, but still not going to be that easy per se. So for Nuggets, if they win it, if they go championship style, it's going to be like the Pistons back in the day when they didn't have that super. Now, Chauncey Billups is kind of a borderline superstar, but like, and maybe he was a superstar at that time, particularly when they won a championship. But like in this past decade, you showed you need at least one superstar to win a championship, and the Nuggets don't have one. Now it's a new decade, so maybe anything can happen. But again, I don't feel like the Nuggets are quite ready yet to win the championship. So that's it for the show today. Please leave comments on what you'd like to be talking about in the future. And please subscribe to my channel and tell everyone about my channel to come and watch it. Thank you very much. And you all have a wonderful day.